Hello everyone, my name is Arnab Datta and it's a pleasure to meet you all. So, we will be discussing the questions and answers that have been asked in the recent UPSC CDS English Power Play Live Test 1. If you haven't attempted this test, you should go and attempt it already, because we have discussed new pattern questions that have been recently asked in the CDS exam. Not only this is the first live test. We are coming up with more live tests that are free. Okay, that are free, where we will discuss and we will see how we can approach these new questions. Similarly, in this session, what we will do, we will analyze each and every question and just see which logic we can use to attempt these questions optimally. Okay, so let's start with the session. Okay, so this is the first question. This question is based on statements. So there are two statements, as you can read in the direction, statement 1 and statement 2. Okay, so we need to find the relation between these two statements. So the first statement is the concept of social contract in political philosophy suggests that individuals agree to form societies and obey laws in exchange for the protection of their natural rights such as life, liberty and property. Philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau have offered different interpretations of the social contract, with some emphasizing security and others focusing on individual freedoms and democratic governance. I hope you guys have read the question. Now just see how we will use the logic to attempt this question and mark the correct answer, right? Okay, so the first statement, S1, the concept of social contract in political philosophy suggests that individuals, I'll be marking the important parts, right, where we need to focus, that individuals agree to form societies and obey laws in exchange for the protection of their natural rights such as life, liberty and property. So the social contract that is described here, it says that individuals like us, we want freedom, liberty and a property, right? So we all come together. So we all come together and form a society and obey laws, so that this part of our life is being given to us, because society is such, right? From this statement we can realize that society is something where we can enjoy our freedom, our life and everything if we obey the laws and we form a society. So this is the crux of the first sentence. What the second sentence says, philosophers like this have offered different interpretations of the social contract. Social contract, this emphasizes society in a way, right, with some emphasizing security and others focusing on individual freedoms such as democratic governance. As we can see in the first sentence, protection of the natural rights such as life, liberty and property. This is a hint at democracy, right? And also in this statement, security and focusing on individual freedom. Here also life, liberty means freedom, right, is being said here. Thus we can see that statement 2 supports statement 1. There isn't any contradiction between the two statements, therefore option 1 is incorrect, right? Contrast with the first, no contrast is there, okay, therefore option 2 is incorrect. Confirms the first, there is no confirmation that statement 2 is confirming statement 1 in a way. It is just emphasizing or supporting the view that is presented in statement 1, right? Therefore the correct answer is option 4, reinforces the first. Reinforce means supports the first statement. I hope no doubts are there in this question. Just in short I will explain it again. In statement 1 it is said that we as individuals, we want freedom, property and everything in exchange like in other, like we want protection, rights and freedom, everything, if we obey laws and form a society. And in statement 2 what it said, that we are forming a social contract because we are forming a society, right? So agreement is needed, which in turn gives us security, individual freedom and a democratic government. Therefore the correct answer is option 4. I hope no doubts are there in this question. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Yes, just read the question. So this question says, the rise of Ottoman Empire in the 14th century marked a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Statement 2 says, this is statement 1. What does statement 2 say? Statement 2 says that through a series of successful military campaigns, the Ottomans extended their territorial control to encompass vast swathes of land, including Constantinople, which they conquered in 1453. Just try to attempt this question and see whether you can get to the correct answer. Then I will give the explanation. And also what am I thinking after saying this question. So the first sentence says, the rise of Ottoman Empire in the 14th century marked a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and Eastern Europe. It is said that the Ottoman Empire, right, the Ottoman Empire, when it rose, when it became powerful in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, there were significant changes. Many changes were there in the geopolitical landscape. So we can attribute this to the fact that the Ottoman Empire's rise was directly proportional to the changes in geopolitical landscape. This is what is meant in statement 1. Statement 2 says, through a series of successful military campaigns, successful military campaigns, the Ottomans extended their territorial control to encompass vast swathes of land, like they took many lands under their control, including Constantinople, which they conquered in 1453. Statement 2 also supports statement 1 in a way, right? Because in statement 1, there is a geopolitical shift because the Ottomans captured many areas. In statement 2 also it is said that because of the successful military campaigns, they had a very good military campaign all over the mentioned parts, including Constantinople. So we can say that it reinforces the first statement. It doesn't contradict. Contradiction is what? Contradiction is I am saying something and you are contradicting it. You are saying something opposite. No opposite statements are there. Confirms the first. Right? It confirms it is not confirming anything. It is written about Constantinople, vast swathes of land, but it isn't saying that it is a result because of this. It is just supporting statement 1. Therefore, statement 2 is correct. Contrasts with the first, this is also incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4. I hope I am able to explain this in a good way so that you can understand. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Okay. Next question. Just go through the question nicely. Then we will see how we can solve it. Okay, so statement 1 says, statement 1 tells us that neoliberal economic policies prioritize free market capitalism, advocating for minimal government intervention, deregulation and privatization of state-owned industries. Critics of neoliberalism argue that such policies exacerbate inequality, weaken social welfare systems and lead to economic instability by prioritizing corporate interests over public good. I think this is quite a simple question. Just by reading it, you can just write the answer, but we will see the logic behind marking the correct answer. Neoliberal economic policies prioritize free market capitalism. You know what is free market capitalism, where no government intervention is there, right? Private companies generally execute everything. Free market capitalism advocating for minimal government intervention. Minimal means like minimum, less government intervention is there, deregulation and the privatization. Like private companies generally take over industries and all. Okay, so this is statement 1, which tells us that neoliberal economic policies, okay, they focus more on capitalism, where private companies are more powerful and there is minimum government intervention. Statement 2, see, there is a hint, critics of neoliberalism. This is neoliberal economic theory which is being said, and the critics say that because of such policies, exacerbatements worsen inequality, weaken social welfare systems and lead to economic instability by prioritizing corporate interest over the public good. This is exactly opposite of statement 1. Statement 2 is exactly opposite statement 1, because the critics of this theory say that because of neoliberal economic policies, there is inequality, there is a broken social welfare system, and there is economic instability as well, because focus is more on corporate rather than over public good, right? So the correct answer is option 2, contrasts with the first. Okay, you guys might have like a doubt, what is the difference between contradict and contrast? Okay, let me tell you, then we will mark the correct answer. Suppose I write this statement: dog is a faithful animal. Dog is a faithful animal. Now if I have to write a sentence which contradicts it, what I will write? Dog is not a faithful animal. So this refers to contradiction. This is a contradictory statement. If this is statement 1, this is statement 2. So I am contradicting it. In statement 1, I am saying that dog is a faithful animal. It's very loyal. But in statement 2, I am saying that dog is not a faithful animal. So I am exactly saying the opposite of it. Now I will show another sentence. If I write, dog is a faithful animal. Okay, another sentence is, cats are independent animals. So here I am comparing two sentences. So this is contrast. Here statement 1 and this is statement 2. Right? Here we are contrasting two sentences. We are making a comparison. We are not saying that this statement is wrong, this statement is right. We are using two different sentences and we are comparing things. From compare, contrast comes. And in this sentence, we are directly saying that it is a faithful animal, dog is a faithful animal, and dog is not a faithful animal. We are contradicting. We are saying exactly the opposite. But here, nothing opposite we are saying. We are just saying two statements and we are comparing it. Therefore, this contrast is there. Similarly, Okay, this is important because if you don't understand what the option means, you won't be able to mark the correct answer in the real exam. Okay, similarly in this sentence we can see that a comparison is being made between neoliberal economic policies and the critics of neoliberal policies. So we are comparing the two things. Therefore, contrasts is the correct answer. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Okay. Chalo, moving on to the next question. So, statement 1. Statement 1 tells us the feminist movement has historically advocated for gender equality, challenging societal structures that have relegated women. Relegated means pushed down. Pushed down women to subordinate roles in politics, economics, and culture. Statement 2 says, despite significant progress in such areas as voting rights and workplace equality, challenges such as gender pay gap, violence against women, and underrepresentation in leadership roles persists in many parts of the world. Okay, let's see the logic behind the answer. The feminist movement has historically advocated means supported gender equality, challenging social structures that have pushed down women to subordinate roles in politics, economics, and culture. So the feminist movement that is there, it has always supported the equality between men and women, and it has supported and it has challenged the structures which made women which have like it has societal structures that have pushed down women to subordinate roles, to roles that are not important in politics, economics, and culture. Okay. Statement 2 says, despite significant progress in such areas as voting rights and workplace equality, challenges such as gender pay, there are certain challenges, right? Gender pay, like women and men are not given the equal salary, violence against women, and underrepresentation in leadership, like in leadership roles you will find more men than women. This persists in many parts of the world. This is still there in many parts of the world, right? So what we can say is the correct answer. So statement 1 is saying that the feminist movement that is there, it is advocating gender equality, and it is challenging the societal structure where women are not given an important part in the society, right? And in statement 2 it is said that though there has been a significant increase in voting rights and all in certain countries, okay, still challenges like gender pay gap, violence against women are still there. Therefore statement 2 is supporting statement 1. So the correct answer is reinforces or supports statement 1. Okay, therefore the correct answer is option 4. Option 1 is correct because no contradiction is there. Option 2 is correct. Option 1 is not correct because contradiction isn't there. Option 2 is not correct because there you can't find a contrast between these two sentences. Option 3 is incorrect because it is not confirming anything. It is just stating. Statement 1 is supporting a fact. Statement 2 is supporting the fact by giving more information about it. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4. Got it? Chalo. Moving on to the next question. Statement 1, statement 2. Statement 1 is saying the process of photosynthesis in plants converts light energy into chemical energy using carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose and oxygen as byproducts. Photosynthesis takes place in the mitochondria of plant cells, where energy from the breakdown of glucose powers chemical reactions to produce oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay. So let's break down sentence 1. Sentence 1 is saying the process of photosynthesis in plants converts light energy into chemical energy. So statement 1 is saying it converts, photosynthesis converts light energy into chemical energy. Light energy into chemical energy. Light energy into chemical using carbon dioxide and water. Using carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose and oxygen as byproducts. Glucose and oxygen. If I put statement 1 in a diagram form, I would say something like this, that in statement 1, light energy is converted into chemical energy by the use of carbon dioxide and water, and the byproduct of it is glucose and oxygen. Okay. So this is statement 1. Statement 2 says photosynthesis takes place in the mitochondria of plant cells, where energy from the breakdown of glucose powers chemical reactions to produce oxygen and carbon dioxide. As we can see, statement 2 is directly saying the opposite of statement 1. What did statement 1 say? Light energy to chemical energy because of carbon dioxide and water, which produces glucose and oxygen. Statement 2 is saying it is placed in the mitochondria of plant cell, which isn't important in here, where energy from the breakdown of glucose. Here glucose is produced, right? As you can see here, glucose is produced here. But here it is saying that glucose is giving the power for the chemical reaction to produce oxygen and carbon dioxide. To produce oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is like exactly the opposite of what is being said in statement 1. Okay. Therefore, the correct answer is contradicts the first, because it is opposite. Contrast, no comparison is made. There isn't any comparison between the two sentences, as you can see. Therefore, option 2 is incorrect. Confirms and reinforces will also be the incorrect option. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Got it? Shall we move on to the next question? If you are having any doubts, you can ask in the comment section and we will be happy to resolve it. Okay, so this is a question of one word substitution. To attempt these questions, you need to know the words and also their meanings. Also, I will be showing you certain techniques by which you can use and remember words very easily. Okay, so mental disturbance caused by illness. Let's take A. Delirium is the correct answer. Mental disturbance. Okay, so how to remember delirium? You have heard of the word, right? Delusion, or Gen Z now says it delulu, right? It is related to mind. Delusion, delulu. So it's related to mind. You can, from there you can remember that a mental disturbance which is there, you can call it delirium. So A is 1. Let's look at B. A political leader who seeks support by appealing to popular passions and prejudices. There are certain leaders in politics who use certain controversial things or controversial subjects to gain more votes, sympathy, empathy, everything. So we call it demagogue. Okay? We call it demagogue. So B is 2. You can remember demagogue by democracy. Democracy consists of a lot of people together, right? So democracy, demagogue. Because a lot of people are involved in it, you can remember it this way, this trick. Not to be considered serious is derisory. So C is 4. C is 4. A shopkeeper selling cloth and clothing will be draper. D is 3. How to remember draper? You know, draping something, like you are putting, there is a cloth here and I am putting it over someone. So I am draping, right? So from there draper comes. Therefore the correct answer is A1, B2, C3, sorry, C4. A1, B2, C4, D3. Yes, option 3 is correct. Got it? Moving on to the next question. Again a one word substitution question in fill in the blanks form. Okay, here apiary is there, right? It's not visible in the board. Apiary. This is something to remember. To keep birds, a large cage building on a birds. Birds is always aviary. How can you remember this aviary? What is aviation? Aviation industry. Aviation industry is flying industry. Is flying industry. So birds can fly, therefore it's aviary. Now bees, where a collection of bees are there, is apiary. Okay, you can remember this in this way. That because it can be confusing, right? Apiary and aviary. You must be confused in the exam sometimes. So aviation means flying industry. Who can fly? Birds. Well, bees can also fly, but they can't fly as high as birds, right? They can't fly in the sky. So aviary birds, apiary bees. Large burial grounds, especially not in a churchyard. This is cemetery. Okay. A room in a public building where outdoor clothes or luggage may be kept, cloakroom. So cloakroom is a room where like many clothes and like pants and clothes, they are arranged nicely. So you can remember it that way, that it's cloakroom. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Okay, so it is A. To keep birds is aviary. A is 2, B is 1, C is cemetery 4, 2, 1, 4. 2, 1, 4. I think option 1 will be correct, right? 2, 1, 4. D is 3, cloakroom. Yes, option 1 is the correct answer. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Moving on to the next question. Okay. Omnipotent. Omnipotent means all powerful. Omnipotent is all powerful like God. Another important one is omnipresent, who is present everywhere. Okay. Omnipotent, all powerful. Monarchy. Monarchy is a kingdom or a system of government which is ruled by a king or a queen. Right? Chronograph. What is chronograph? Okay, before answering this, you guys know, right? This chronology. What is chronology? You have read in history, right? What is history? History is a chronology of events. So chronology means a series of events arranged according to time. So chrono, this word chrono is related to time. Just remember this. So chronograph is an instrument for recording short intervals of time. See, you can remember words this way. You need to see the root words, and in this way you can like remember a lot of words. Glutton. Glutton means a person who eats excessively. A person who eats too much is called glutton. Okay, so marking the correct answer, A is omnipotent, all powerful. A is 4, B is, okay, only one option has A as 4. A4, B3, monarchy, okay, right. C is 1, instrument for measuring according to time, and D is glutton, 2. Yes, option 4 is the correct answer. I hope no doubts are there in this question. Moving on to the next question. Match the following of the substitutes. Okay, so this is related to murders or killing. So the killing of oneself, suicide. Everyone knows this. It's very easy. Killing of one's brother. Okay. To remember you know what is the meaning of fraternity? You have heard this term, right? In the preamble you have heard. Fraternity means brotherhood. Fraternity means brotherhood. So Killing of a brother is fratricide. See, F-R-A-T, F-R-A-T, you can remember it this way. So killing of one's brother, fratricide. Killing of one's sister, sister starts with S, and sororicide also starts with S. So C is 1, sororicide. The killing of one's wife, uxoricide is the correct answer. Okay? Chalo, so the correct answer is option 1. Moving on to the next question. Okay, so this is a repeated question. You can practice this and you can tell which words means what and mark the correct answer. Okay, so this is a part of speech type question. So the thing is that the knowledge of parts of speech is very important to attempt these questions. So what we will do now, see which logic do I use to mark the correct answer. Okay, so first I am saying is I will target B because I know it. Sewing is a gerund and machine is noun. Now can someone tell me what is gerund? What is gerund? Like if I write smoking is bad for health. So which part of speech is smoking? Smoking looks like a verb, but it acts as a noun here. What is bad for health? Smoking, because smoking is the subject. So it's a gerund, right? Gerund is a part of speech that looks like a verb but acts as a noun, like in this scenario. So here we can see sewing acts as a gerund and machine is a noun. Now can any one of you tell me how do we figure out whether a word is a noun or not? So if I write a sentence, I have a machine, right? Remember, a noun is always preceded by an article. If an article is present before a part of speech, this should be a noun. Similarly, when you are attempting these questions, just construct a sentence in your mind, right? Just like I am doing. It's not possible for everyone to remember each and every word, which part of speech is it, right? So what we can do is like we can construct a sentence and from there we can identify which part of speech can it be. Okay? Therefore B is 3. B 3. Now I will look in the options. So see, this is the quick way to do the answer. B3. B3 option 1 can be correct, 2, 3 can be correct, 4 cannot be correct. Okay, so let's see option 1. A is saying 4. Downcast. Adverb, verb. Yes, down is an adverb because I went down. Down is describing. See, what is an adverb? An adverb is a part of speech which describes a verb, an adjective or another adverb. You know this, right? So here went is the verb. Went where? Down. So down is an adverb because it is qualifying the verb went. Okay? So down is an adverb as said here. Cast. Cast, I will create a sentence. I cast a vote. Cast is acting as a verb here. And also see, A is there, right? A is an article, so vote will be a noun. Okay, so cast is a verb. Therefore, A is 4. A4. Do we have A4 here? Yeah, A4 is here. Sorry, A4, A4. Okay, B3, B3. C will be the deciding factor. C or D. D seems easier to me to do it, right? School boy. School is a noun. Boy is also a noun. So noun plus noun 1. D should be 1. Therefore, the correct answer is this. Option 1 is the correct answer. It looked like I took a lot of time to answer the question, but the thing is that everything during the exam will be calculated in my mind. I will create sentences in my mind and I will think, okay, this part of speech belongs to this. And by option elimination, I will mark the correct answer. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Moving on. Okay. Try this. C is a noun, food is a noun, noun plus noun, A4. We have option 1 and option 4 where A is 4. Let's see option C, fast is an adjective. Now what is an adjective? An adjective is a part of speech which describes a noun or pronoun. For example, if I say, I have a red car. Okay. So we can see I have a car. If I remove this red, A is the article, car is the noun. The color red is describing the noun. Therefore, red is an adjective. Right? Got it? Similarly here, what were we seeing? Fast food. Fast? No. Fast can be an adverb also. So I will come back to option B. Let's try option B. Soft. Soft is an adjective. Where is a noun? So adjective plus noun. 3. B is 3. B2, B3. Yes, option 4 is the correct answer. I think so. Let's see it again. C2. C is fast food. C is an adverb. Sorry, fast is an adverb. Yeah, and food is a noun. Okay, so option 4 is the correct answer. Great. I hope no doubts are there in this question. See, identifying the parts of speech is very important to attempt these questions. If you are able to do it, these questions will be like a cakewalk, right? Okay. Underline words, parts of speech. Again, a parts of speech. Let's see. So whenever match the following questions are there, we should always look for the loose ends from where we can start the question, right? For example, if we see statement C, we applauded the leader. We is the subject, right? Therefore, C will be 4. We applauded the leader. Who? We. So we is the subject because we are applauding the leader. C is 4. C4, okay. In 3 options, C4 is there. Next, we can see he ate fruits. Ate is a verb, right? Where is verb? 3. So B3. B is 3. This. Only option 2. In option 2, B3 is there. Just cross checking it. C4. C. We applauded. Acha, just a second. There has been some mistake. So C was 4, right? C was 4, subject. C4. This option is incorrect. C4B. He ate fruits. B should be a verb. B3. Yeah. Only B3. In option 2, B3 is there. Therefore, the correct answer is option 2. Let's see at C. We applauded the leader. C is 1. No, sorry. Just a second. C is 4. Yes. Subject. C is for D. They elected him leader. D is 1. Subject complement. Now, what is subject complement? Just tell me what is complement. Suppose you see a beautiful girl, right? You tell her you are beautiful. What you are doing? You are just saying, giving a compliment to a girl and extra information about the girl, right? Similarly, in this case, D1, they elected him leader. Elected him what? Leader. which is an extra information, a complement which you are saying, but there is a difference, that is COM, that is complement, which I said earlier, complement. However, in this the complement spelling is COMPLEMENT, but you can use this trick to remember what is a complement, right? Therefore, option 2 is the correct answer. 2. Adjunct. What is adjunct? These are just some information which might come in the exam. Adjunct. Add means addition. Add means addition. So adjunct is A2. She went to Chennai. Went where? And additional information is being given. Therefore, it acts as an adjunct. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Moving on. Okay, one more parts of speech. Let's see. Option C again. We will take option C. Reading made him a complete man. Reading made. See here, reading is a gerund, right? Reading made. Made is a verb. Where is a verb? C2. C2. This option is incorrect. This option is incorrect. C2. Okay. He was going to school. He is the subject. D1. D1, D4. This is incorrect. Option 1 is the correct answer. Let's see. A4. A4 preposition. With is a preposition. B3. Excited. Excited is an adjective. He was excited. If we put this in a sentence, some might say ki excited may be a verb because ed is there. But let me write you a sentence. He is an excited person. A is there an article. So this becomes the noun. What describes noun? Adjective. Excited is an adjective. Therefore, excited, adjective. B3. Correct. Reading made him a complete man. Verb, he was going to school, is the subject. Yes. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1. Got it? Chalo, moving on to the next question. Okay. One more. Match the under column with the parts of speech. Again, a parts of speech. Let's see. He walks quickly. A will be 3 because walks is a verb, right? A3. Incorrect, incorrect, incorrect. Only one option is there where A is 3. Let's cross check. Walks quickly, verb. Reena. Reena is the subject. Taught him Hindi. Okay, let me tell you the difference between subject and object. Reena taught him Hindi. Now, the doer of the action is the subject and the receiver of the action is the object. Just remember this. Who is teaching here? Reena. Reena is teaching Hindi. Taught him Hindi, right? So Reena is the subject. Taught is the verb. Generally, subject is placed always before the verb, right? So subject, verb. Teaching whom? Him. Him is the object. Got it? Chalo. So option 1, A3. A3. Reena here is the subject. Right? B1. Rani ate ice cream. Ate what? Ice cream. Therefore, C2. Object. Rani is the subject. Ate what? Ate the ice cream. Therefore, ice cream is the object. Radha is a doctor. C again, complement is there. Got it? Okay, I hope no doubts are there in this question. So, last 5 questions that are based on idioms. So in CDS, this pattern can be expected because direct questions nowadays it's not being asked because the exam got tougher with time, right? So we need to read the statement and see whether the conclusions are correct or not. Also, how many conclusions are correct, we need to point that out. Okay, so let's start. Statement: the headmaster said, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." Now, what does this mean? It means that this proverb came maybe in this way, that farmer got a pack of eggs, like many eggs he got, and is celebrated ki I have got many eggs, I will get many chickens, from there I will get many eggs, then more chickens. He thought like that, but none of the eggs hatched, and he, after getting the eggs only, he celebrated so much. He used all his money, gave parties and all, but at the end he saw that none of the eggs hatched, and all his excitement and everything went in vain, right? Went in vain. So this means that we shouldn't celebrate early. What is the meaning of this statement? Don't count your chickens before they hatch, is that we shouldn't celebrate anything before the results, because if the result doesn't come as expected, it will disappoint us. Got it? Okay, so the headmaster said, don't count your chickens before they hatch. It is better to wait for confirmation before celebrating success. Statement 1. Okay, what is statement 2? Jumping to conclusions too early can lead to disappointment. And statement 3, there is no point in preparing until you have certainty. Okay, as we can see, statement 1 is correct, because we shouldn't celebrate success before the success is confirmed, as I have said before, right? Therefore, statement 1 is correct. Jumping to conclusions too early can lead to disappointment. Suppose we celebrated our success early and the result doesn't turn out to be good, we will be disappointed, right? Therefore, statement 2 is also correct. Statement 3 is incorrect, because this statement is very ridiculous. There is no point in preparing until you have certainty. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go with the idiom. Therefore, the correct answer is both conclusion 1 and 2 is correct. Yes, got it? Okay, jumped on the bandwagon. Okay, this wasn't underlined, so this is the underlined statement, right? What is jumped on the bandwagon? Jumped on the bandwagon means to support something which everybody is supporting, like a trend or something is there and you are just supporting it without any prior information or anything, because everybody is doing it. This means jumped on the bandwagon. We can remember this in a way that, suppose, what is a bandwagon? Bandwagon is like a carrier thing, right? So many people are here sitting, many people, and you are here. You just see it that everybody is sitting here and going somewhere, so you just go and sit there. So it means jumping on the bandwagon, like supporting something or doing something because everybody else is doing, right? Now let's read the statement. Matthew jumped on the bandwagon after seeing the new trend. Okay. It's common to follow others in order to stay up to date. Okay. Following the crowd can sometimes be beneficial, but not always. Original thinking is always criticized by others. Now, let's see. If you jump on the bandwagon, sometimes it's important to stay up to date, right? Therefore, option 1 is correct. Following the crowd can sometimes be beneficial, but not always. Suppose you are joining a trend. It can be beneficial or it can be a waste. We don't know, right? Therefore, option 2 is also correct. Original thinking is always criticized by others. This statement, this conclusion doesn't follow the statement. Therefore, the correct answer is option 1 and 2. So, both conclusions 1 and 2 are correct. Got it? Okay. Moving on to the next question. Crying over spilled milk. Okay, so she knew it was no use crying over spilled milk, yet she found herself replaying the final moments of the game over and over. What does crying over spilled milk means? crying over spilled milk means that you are regretting something, the result of something, and you can't change the outcome of it. Ki what is done, it's done. You can't change it, right? So let's read the sentence. She knew it was no use crying over spilled milk, yet she found herself replaying the final moments of the game over and over. So the person who is there, she was regretting her actions and she was replaying the moments again and again. Now let's look at the sentence. She was actively trying to figure out what she could have done differently to change the game's final result. Now here is the twist in the question, right? The person who was there, she was replaying the mistake she had done or something for which she lost in the game. She was replaying the moment. She wasn't thinking ki what else she could have done so that the result was different. Okay, therefore option 1 is incorrect, because she was crying over spilled milk. She was just regretting her decision. She was upset about the game's outcome, a past event that could not be changed, but knew she needed to let it go. Option 2 can be correct because she was upset about the game's outcome, which cannot be changed. Right? Statement 3, she was preparing to apologize to her teammates for her performance and wanted to rehearse what she would say. This is also incorrect. Statement 3 is also incorrect because she was crying over spilled milk. She was regretting her decision, but she wasn't hatching any plan as to how to apologize or say sorry to her teammates for what she has done. Therefore, only statement 2 is correct. Yes. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Select the conclusion based on the meaning of the underlined idiom. Burning the midnight oil during the final week of exams can improve the performance of a student. Okay. Burning the midnight oil. So, burning the midnight oil, this idiom came like much before, when our parents or grandparents, they didn't have any electricity, right? So they used to burn like a candle and they used to study, do their homework or study for the school. Okay, so what it means, like oil is needed for the fire, for the candle to light up, wax, oil or anything, so that they can study. From there this idiom came, burning the midnight oil. Burning the midnight oil is like staying up late to prepare for something, for studying or for any project or anything. Okay, got it? During the final week of exams can improve the performance of a student. This is the statement. Conclusion 1. Staying up late to study before finals is always beneficial for a student. Yes, this can be true. If you burn the midnight oil, or if you study hard before the exams at night, or a couple of nights you study, it can be beneficial. Statement 1 is correct. It is important to rest in between study sessions, not just push through. Nothing of this sort is written in this statement, that you need breaks between your studies, right? Therefore option 2 is, statement 2 is incorrect. The effort of working late is usually unnecessary to do well in exams. Statement 3 is completely contradicting the conclusion 3 is exactly contradicting the statement here, because it is saying that if you put in long hours or late hours, it won't help you in exams. Therefore, in this sentence, only conclusion 1 is correct. Got it? I hope no doubts are there in this question. Yes, only option 1 is correct. Break the ice. What does it mean? Break the ice means to start a conversation. If you want to start a conversation with someone, you are breaking the ice. It's like an introductory thing. Hi, my name is Arnab. I do this. I'm a teacher. So this is me breaking the ice. Just like in my introductory part, what did I say? This is Arnab Datta and it's a pleasure to meet you all. So this is me breaking the ice with you students. Right? Okay. Looking at the statement. So it is said in the statement, he told a personal anecdote. What is anecdote? Anecdote is a short story. a real short story about a person or anything, right? So he told a personal story in an attempt to break the ice with his new team members. Okay. Statement 1. His goal was to make a strong and memorable first impression, so he shared a story to grab their full attention. This might seem it is a correct statement, but it is actually not, because here breaking the ice means he told a personal story to introduce himself to the team members so that they feel a little easy talking to him. It's like an introductory part. It isn't implied in the statement that he wanted to make a final or good, like he wanted to make a memorable impression. Therefore, statement 1 is, conclusion 1 is incorrect. He told the story to distract the team members. No distraction was there. He told the story to distract the team members from a difficult topic that he was unwilling to discuss. Breaking the ice means to introduce or to introduce yourself, or to fill the gap between two people. No diversion or nothing is there. Therefore, conclusion 2 is incorrect. 3. His anecdote was an attempt to start a conversation. See, this is perfectly fine. To start a conversation and make the team members feel more ease with each other. Yes, option 3 is correct. Conclusion 3 is correct. Therefore, only conclusion 3 is correct will be the correct answer. I hope no doubts are there in this question. Okay, so these are the 20 questions that I have discussed. I hope you have understood each and every question, and I have tried my best to break down the questions and explain it to you in such a way so that you can use the same logic in the actual exam. Ticking the correct option or writing the correct option isn't the only way to crack the exam. The best way to crack the exam is to do it quickly and accurately, and this is what we have tried here. Thank you so much. We will be coming up with more sessions like this where new pattern questions will be discussed, and I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.